food. So he's sitting there eating with his wife and his young kid, and Tony had just finished workout, came through there and sees him. And if you know Tony, he's a big dork, and like if you got a kid, he's gonna sit there and make faces and blow bubbles and do all this other stuff. So Tony sat there and spent a lot of time, hour, 2 hours with them, just talking with them. And he mentioned to Michael about, hey, are you a coach? And they didn't know anything about it. So you probably got to hear Michael's story on the National Coach Call. If you're not on those, get on those. But he spoke a couple weeks ago and talked about how that all happened. But he and I actually got started. He became one of my coaches while he was over in Italy. And whenever he still was building a huge business while he was still in Italy. That's what Skype is used for. So, but over that time and over the time that I've gotten to get to know Michael even more, not only has he been someone who is just pedal to the metal, gonna get it done, he's got a vision and he will run through you and any brick wall in order to get there. He's got that type of attitude. But he's got an amazing heart for his family, an amazing heart for the people he gets the opportunity to touch. And what I love about him too is it doesn't matter that I'm his sponsor. It doesn't matter that I've been doing this for 5 years. He will still get in my grill and tell me like it is. And so that's why I love this man so much and so proud of what he's become. And so let me introduce to you one of my best friends and give it up because he is one of our servicemen who will be retiring in August. One-star diamond, Michael Schwartz.
Wow, that was a heck of an intro. I'm really up here not to talk about myself at all, but to talk about the next person that's going to come up, and I hope that he blesses all of you to the level that he's blessed myself. And Rachel is in the back hiding. She's scared to death to even be associated with me for some reason. But first I wanted to say congratulations to all of you for prioritizing yourselves and your business by getting to this event. So last year in Los Angeles, we had our 8-month-old baby with us, and we were just high-fiving each other, trying to make it to every single function that we could. And so just congratulations on that, and think about your downline, some of those people that weren't able to get here, and just think next year, and as you go to more and more functions, how we can do that better. But again, I'm here to talk about the next person who's coming up, and you've heard a lot of great information today from Shalene and Tony. Everybody understands the mission statement of Beachbody and where we're going with this, and that, the health crisis that's in America. Well, this next person is very, very passionate about that, but he's also very passionate about emotional crisis and character crisis and upbringings that people have had. And this guy is absolutely clearly the person that I needed in my life when I got involved with Beachbody, because as a Ruby or a cleric, which is what I am, I literally did what Robert did. Robert said, I blew through people, and I literally blew people out of this business. Okay, so Craig has done an amazing thing for me, as he's done for thousands of people. He speaks truth into your life. I certainly hope that you guys are investing in yourselves as well as the business, and you're tapping into him for his resources and his trainings. He does a lot of stuff inside Beachbody and outside of Beachbody. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Craig Holiday.
Thank you. Whoa. Thank you very much. Y'all doing good? I can see why, man. This is like, there's a few people hanging out here at the hotel with all these P90X deals on them. I feel sorry for the staff here. I'm sure they've gotten like barraged with prospecting, and probably some of them will be in shape before y'all leave. But I want to thank Michael for that introduction. The Frog, I call him the Frog Man. He's become an incredibly close friend. I mean, I met him through Robert and had an opportunity to go down to Virginia and spend time with he and Rachel and their family and the people in Virginia Beach, which was awesome. And one of the highlights of our trip down there was, well, it was actually Rachel, but one of the highlights of our trip down there was we got a chance to go to the premiere night at the theater on the Navy SEAL base of the movie Act of Valor. Oh, wow. And I don't know how many of you have seen that movie, But we had, Robert and I were sitting next to each other. We felt like total wimps. All Navy SEAL guys in there with their families and watching that movie. And I think one of the most powerful parts of the movie was, those of you who've seen it, was at the end when they started reeling the names of Navy SEALs that had lost their lives for their country. And I just remember, because Robert and I were standing there, we didn't know what to do, and all of a sudden one of the soldiers stood up and said, "Stand on your feet," and 200 men stood up in honor of those names. And Robert and I were like crying. We were a mess. Like, he's holding me, I'm holding him. I don't know what they thought about us. They knew we weren't Navy SEALs, I guarantee you that. But it was amazing. And now I've been honored. It's like it has to be one of the biggest honors of my life, is that Michael has asked me to be the keynote speaker at his retirement at the Navy SEALs. So I'll tell you what, that to me is like a blessing. All that to say that we never know what's going to happen when we get in this business. We never know who's going to come into our lives. We never really know, and you're all starting to figure these things out because you all have a downline now, and a lot of you didn't have any idea who they were, and now they're in your business and you're building relationships with them, and they're changing lives, and you're changing lives together. And one of the things I love about this organization with Blake and Angie and your leadership with with Hudge and Melissa and your top leadership that's here, is one of the things I love. I guess a great description of you guys is one heart, many hands. And I really believe that's what you guys are. And I believe that's what this business is, and that's why I'm still out there sharing and being in your lives and being in the lives of people in Beachbody now for almost 3 years. Because I'm passionate about this business. I'm passionate about life change. Not only, physically with what we have product-wise, but a life change emotionally. Life change of giving up the past and walking away from it so we can have a future. And I started thinking, okay, what's my theme going to be? I have an opportunity to speak to 4 different breakout groups like this. I just did Christine's group, Dwyer, and I'm working with, I'm going to do Tommy's and Monica and Hudge. And it's the people I love passionately. And so the other morning I woke up like I do every morning. I always have a quiet time, and I play Chris Tomlin. Anybody like Chris Tomlin? Great music. Chris Tomlin's a Christian artist, but his music's amazing. So I play him, and I just pray, and I said, God, what's my word for this event? And he said, celebrate. That was the word, celebrate. So I want to use that word today in your guys' lives, because I guarantee you a lot of you have come into this weekend and you don't feel like celebrating. And there's probably a lot of different reasons for that, and one of them is probably because last year you promised yourself at Summit you would be somewhere where you aren't today. And you come into the event and you want to beat yourself up, and you want to start to, we end up being our own worst enemy, and we start tearing ourselves down. And so I'm going to tell you that that's not allowed here this weekend. Because is there anybody, and stand if you can, is there anybody who can change 1 second of their past? Because if you can, stand up for me right now. Not one of us can go back and grab, I've spoken now for 5 minutes, I can't go back and grab those 5 minutes of time and move them into the future. They're gone from my life. Gone forever. The times, whatever you didn't do to get you here, right, you can't go back and change it. But God knows what you can do is change your life today and celebrate who you are and where you're going. And that's what you have a hold of, and that's what each one of you own in your life if you want to own it. So many people make excuses for their life, but you don't know my past, Craig. And even in Beachbody, I love it because I meet people and I say, well, I'm a divorced mom, and I'm a single mom raising my life, and I'm broke, and I'm on food stamps, and my house has been repossessed, and all this stuff. How could I ever build this business? Then I introduced her to a girl named Lisa Keeler I'd worked with for 3 years, who has the exact same life and is now a qualifying 11-star diamond that came from the same place. Why? Because she decided to celebrate her life. See, each one of you were created before the land was formed, before the earth was formed. You were created to do something magnificent, to celebrate your life. And many of us, we get into this mode in our life where we spend so much time trying to be happy instead of understanding joy. And there's a real difference. I was at church the other day, and the pastor made it so clear, it was so simple, but I want to share with you. He said, happiness is the temperature in a room. Joy's the thermostat. And I thought, God, that's true about our lives. We're always looking at this. How does this affect my happiness? How does that affect my happiness? Instead of saying, this struggle will come. That struggle will come. This challenge of our past we can't do anything about. But I'm going to have joy in the fact that whatever circumstance I'm in, number one, I'll deal with it. I'll work through it. And number two, I'm going somewhere. And you all are going somewhere. You've been given this gift, this business. I remember so many, when Robert, the last year and a half, and he and I were spending time together on the phone every week and hour calls, and sometimes they'd go longer, because sometimes I really needed to kick his butt. And it was really, and when you know Robert, that wasn't easy in the beginning, because he could kick my ass, so I just had to kick his butt on the phone, But seriously, we'd get into some really good stuff, and it wasn't just, hey, how do I work my coaches? How do I do PD? It was more about life and about him and about changing and growing and being something different and not being about you. But it was more about me wanting him to understand what he really had a hold of. And if I could sometimes I pray, God, give me the words to share with this audience so they get what they got. This so they get what they have a hold of. Because each of you have been given a gift where you can change lives. You can make a difference in the life of someone else. And your greatest blessing, that's where it will come from. I guarantee you can ask Melissa and Robert and Ange and Blake, and you can ask these people and say, hey, let me ask you a question. Is money the most important thing in your life? And they say, no, it's not. What is? The success of someone else. Seeing their life change. Being the person in their life that goes up and looks them in the eye and says, you know what? I believe in you. Damn it, I believe in you. And I don't even know where you're coming from, and I don't know where you've been, but I know where you can go. Because that's what you were designed to do. That's what your life's about. That's what we were made to be. And if you think anything different, you're wrong. And so you come into the summit, we put our heads down, we come here, and we're all bummed out, and maybe you're the only one here in your group. Now you came here and you're the only one, and you've been in a year. Maybe you're an Emerald after a year. Maybe you got one more person with you. And you're sitting there, instead of celebrating being here, celebrating your life, celebrating who you are. Because one thing I've learned is that, man, if I wake up in the morning, and I can open my eyes and I'm going, and I'm breathing, right? And my breath's in me, and I got something to do. And I just say, thank you, God, I'm going to celebrate this day. And for a lot of us, it's hard because we're goal setters. We're going to go get it done. We're going to go get accomplishment, and that's good, and we're going to do great things with our life, and we're going to make $1 million and live in a big house and all these kinds of things. And so we're driven. So let me challenge you today. Sit in your seat today, think about your life, and tell yourself this. Today is the first day of the rest of my life. I know that sounds trite, it sounds funky, but you know how many times I had to say that to myself? Today's the first day of the rest of my life. And I'm going to live it that way because I can't change the past. I can't change the abuse. I can't change the struggle. So what can I change? My future. So we need to learn to celebrate the little things. Celebrate your little kids waking up in the morning and jumping in your bed and telling you how much they love you. Celebrate a spouse that you're madly in love with, and maybe you have been for years and you're still in love and you're making a difference. Celebrate the fact that God gave you a business where you can give someone else hope. Celebrate all that. So don't come into this event because you're not where you thought you should be. And I know I'm competitive as heck. I would always go into an event thinking I should have been further along. I couldn't have worked any harder, but I figured I should be. And so I'd come into that event, right, and I'd mope for a while, and I said, forget that. I can't change that. I can change this. And that's the message for you today. You must need to draw a line in the sand and say, you know what, it's joy. We're not always going to be happy building your business. You're going to have people that go inactive. And you want to go over to their house and either shoot them or choke them to death, right? And you never know it until late on Thursday morning, and you couldn't do anything about it Wednesday night, and all of a sudden you drop out, right? And that's how that's going to happen to you. You're going to be in a fight with your wife and have to get on a team call, just the way it is. You're going to fight with your husband and have to get on a team call. It's the way it is, right? That's not going to change. We don't become perfect so we can go 15-star diamond in Beachbody. But the one thing I learned is that products don't move products. People that are moved move products. People ask me, how do you build this business? I go, products don't move products. People that are moved move people. Challenge them. Get them past where they are to where they need to go, and believe in them. And tell them to celebrate their life. And so don't any of you come into this event and try to fix the past, because you're not going to do it. But don't any of you come into this event next year without bringing a lot of people and a big business with you. But you have to decide that. I can't decide it. I can't make that decision for you. People say, oh, you're a motivational speaker. I've never motivated anybody. I'm serious. You know what motivates you? You. Your dream. Your hopes. What you want. Getting the little thing that I said right now, and that is, you've been designed for greatness. Not to wallow in the mire, not to live in the past, not to sit around and wonder what's going to happen in my future. Figure it out and do something about it. That's what's going to give you what you want, wife. How about your kid sitting on your lap, your daughter, when she's 18 years old and goes, Dad, I qualified, I can go to Yale, I can go to any college I want. And you go, baby, pick the school. It's all taken care of. How about your parents? Well, some of you have older parents. Those people aren't going to be able to take care of themselves. The call's going to come one day. Baby, we're kind of struggling. Can you help us out? When you get that call, what's your answer going to be? Gee, Mom and Dad, I'm really sorry. We can't even take care of ourselves. Right? What are the things we have in our lives right now that are important? What are you celebrating? I was just at my son's wedding. My youngest son just got married. My oldest son's been married a year and a half. My daughter's been married a year now. My youngest son's 24 and he's been married. He's been married, I don't know, like 3 weeks. I'm sitting at his wedding and I'm watching him on the dance floor. I'm celebrating every moment. He's just a wonderful kid. He's an actor. He's passionate, but he loves this woman madly. And I sat and watched him, and I didn't just watch the celebration of that. I watched the celebration of the memories that went through my mind of him learning to walk, him riding a bike for the first time, him playing high school football. You know, the times he was sick, the time when I went to the doctor and he had mono, we didn't know if it was mono or leukemia, and the doctor said, hey, his blood count's so high it could be leukemia, I'll let you know, we're going to go run the test. And I sat in that room, I go, God, where are you, man? This kid's got to be okay. Those are the celebration moments that went through my mind. Sitting there watching him dance with his bride. I have, you know, some of us, we look and we talk about when people, Keith Williams, who's Keith, you in here? Mm-hmm. Oh, there he is. Keith's dad passed away. And it was still interesting because we were doing an exercise in this group that we had with Robert about writing the eulogy of your life. And Keith wrote the eulogy of his life, and it was amazing. And I don't think it was 2 weeks later, his father passed away. He was gone. And they had the funeral, and I know Keith spoke at it. It was an emotional time for all of us. Francis, all of us were on that call, man. We were all like just messed up. But you know, we talk about celebrating so he went and he did a celebration for his father. That's what we do at funerals. I just got a call yesterday that one of my best friends just died of leukemia, and he's been fighting it for 8 years, and my son called me and said, Dad, Randy's dead. And I got to go home Wednesday to the funeral. And we're going to do a celebration of his life. That's what you do at funerals. How about celebrating our life now? Let's not wait for any of us in here, men or women, to wait till the day comes that you're sitting in a box in the front of a room and people start trickling into a church to celebrate your life. Men, let's celebrate it now. Let's have the courage to celebrate our lives now. Let's have the courage to do what men need to do. Let's have the courage to stand. Let's have the courage to be strong. Let's have the courage to take charge of our families. Let's have the courage to quit living in the past and live in the future. Let's decide that the dreams and the hopes and everything that's been laid on our shoulders, especially as men, is our responsibility, and we're going to go do something about it. We're going to quit playing games with our lives and quit throwing the dice that maybe I'll have a job in a year. And maybe I'll be able to pay that house off. And maybe someday my kids will be able to go to college, and quit throwing the dice with our lives. Because you weren't designed for that. Am I saying every person should be rich? No. But you already are rich. If you understand what I'm talking about. Because the fact that some of you sit here today and you have hope and you have dreams, and I promise you your past does not look like somebody who should be as healthy as you are today. But you are. Because you worked through it. I commend you. It takes courage. It takes courage to look back and see where you've come, and you know what happens to people in their lives, and children, and abuse, and molestation, and all the things. And I know the statistics: 6 out of 10 women have been molested. So I'm looking at this audience, and I know people struggle. This is their past for people. And I'm saying, but you know what? How do we change the future? We learn to overcome it, because why? When we do, we bless lives. When you bless lives, there was purpose in what happened. Without the blessing of lives, without changing yours and just getting up and speaking and sharing your story and saying, here's where I was and here's where I am, because someone cared about me, somebody believed in me, and yeah, this happened to me in my life. Yeah, sure, probably I shouldn't be where I am today, but I am. You know why? Because I'm courageous, and I have courage, and I've overcome that, and I should have a good self-esteem, because how many people can make it through that and be where I am today? I'm celebrating you guys. I'm celebrating your lives. I'm celebrating who you are. I'm celebrating who you're becoming. And I just don't want any of you leaving this weekend without getting a hold of that. I want to give you all t-shirts that just says Celebrate on the front. Or Celebration 2012. It's your life, you guys. There comes a time in all of our lives where we can no longer, and I had to come to it. Some of you have heard me speak recently. I shared about what was the big thing that changed my life. It was constantly saying, why me, why me, why me? I added one word, why not me? One word to my vocabulary changed my life forever. I was doing a interview recently on the radio, and the lady said, what was the biggest moment in your life that changed your life? I said, I can think of it right now. It was when I used to say, why me? Why this happened to me? Why that happened to me? And then all of a sudden one day I just said this, why not me? Why not me? There had to be purpose in that closet. There had to be purpose in obesity. There had to be purpose in a father that disciplined you by throwing rocks at you up against the wall. There had to be purpose in that, and I don't get it. But you know what? Now I look at my life, and God's blessed me with the opportunity to share to people like you. And I've spent 30 years now just sharing my life and flipping struggles and all that crap and the stuff that's happened. And people come up and they go, dude, that was me. And I said, then use me as hope. Because you can change. You know, you guys should, your organization should flourish this year. Because it's not about you, it's about others. And when you own that, and you go out and you celebrate your life, and you celebrate the lives of others, and you start to look at people the way they really have been designed to be. People are living a quiet life of desperation. You know, I travel, every weekend I travel, and I go to airports and I sit and I watch people, and I watch them walk by, and I go, that guy's dying on the inside. You know, that person's hurting on the outside. You just watch them go by, and I go, we have an answer. Is it Shakeology? Yeah, that works. That's our product. But no, it's you saying, hey, guess what? You can do something with your life. I promise you, man, you can do something different. And I'm here for you. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be simple. But damn it, I'm going to lift you up when I have to. I'm going to kick your butt when I have to. But I'm going to stand by you. And I'm going to walk that journey with you. And I'm not going to be a travel agent and tell you how to get there. I'm taking you with me to the lake. I'm going to put my arm around you and walk with you. And that's what we do in our business. This is not about business of signing somebody up. I hope that's not what you think we're about. Because you'll never build a business that way. This is about business as me saying, oh, you too? I thought I was the only one. Sometimes just listening and not talking. Sometimes putting your arm around somebody and loving on them and just being quiet. Because they just need some support to get you through it. That's the connecting we're talking about. That's what you have to do with your coaches. That's how you build a big business. That's what you want. You just want to be heard. You want to be listened to. Yeah, the greatest people and greatest leaders are listeners. How much do we just want to talk, spew out all of our stuff to people? I always say, don't tell them your story until you hear theirs. We want to say, oh, do this, we did this, I did this, and they're sitting there going, okay, whatever. And you're sitting there saying, what's going on in your life? It's like someone tells their story, well, I was on P90, or I was 100 pounds overweight, and I got on P90X and I lost all my weight, and that's my story. No, it's not. Why'd you ever get 100 pounds overweight? How hopeless was your life? How much had you given up? What pain is in your past? Because it's not what you eat, it's what's eating you. That's your story. Tell me that one. Then emotionally we connect, and I go, me too. Me too. We can make the choice to celebrate this day at Summit 2012. You can't do anything about what didn't happen. But God, you guys, take a hold of your lives. Realize your purpose. I'm going to continue to beat the drum. I'm going to continue to put the message out there. You know, my message at Michael Schwarting's retirement party, or his retirement, I'm going to talk about courage. And you think, yeah, here I am talking to a bunch of Navy SEALs about courage, probably the most courageous men in the world. But I'm going to talk about courages that it takes when you're no longer in the battlefield to raise a family. To love your kids, to be there. The courage to be a man and be able to get past the things that hold us men back. Because we're like, we don't like to talk much. We just like, men have little compartments, right? We're like, this is ESPN, this is romance. We're like a waffle, our brains. They're like little compartments here. Right? No, seriously, we have these little compartments. And if you're watching ESPN, your wife asks you to do something that doesn't register because you're in the ESPN box. Right? Y'all understand this. And women, you know, they're like spaghetti. Everything's completely tight. I mean, seriously. You know, and you guys, hey, how many of you guys know what, are you hearing me right now? I mean, that's why if you don't take out the trash in the morning, you don't make love at night, and where does that ever come together? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a box here is romance, and then there's taking out the trash. Why are we tying all this together? It makes no sense, right? But we're different. And that's why on August 11th, and Robert's going to be speaking at it, and I'm going to challenge you men. We'll be in San Diego. I'm doing a Men of Courage Day. It's going to be a tough day for men. It's going to be coming in, baby, and you know, we're going to get real about our lives. You know, I've done men's ministry for 10 years, and I love working with men because men hide well. Men shut doors. Men stay behind them. Men know how to check out when we have to survive the reality of relationships and those kinds of things. We're going to talk about those things like man in the mirror, boundaries. I challenge you guys, go on my website, sign up. It's $147. We're starting at 9 in the morning. We're going until 11 at night. You know, Robert's going to be speaking. Tommy Migren is going to be speaking. Dave Ward. It's going to be a great event. I've got a pastor coming in to talk about forgiveness, something most men need to hear about. And I'm not just here to pitch my event, but I just look out in this audience, you guys, and I get fired up. Because the kind of leadership you guys have, Blake, Angie, Robert, and Melissa, you guys are right where you need to be. You're in fertile ground. You can celebrate being a part of this organization because I promise you from the top, there's integrity, there's character, there's courage. When you get a word, it's good, it's true. You can bring people into this group and say, come meet our folks. They're unbelievable. They're awesome. And that's what you guys have here. So you have all the reason in the world to celebrate, but start celebrating the little things. Celebrate the little things in your life. And give yourself credit for where you've come from. Because many of you have made advancements that are unbelievable. And your future is just going to be incredible for every single one of you. It's time to change. It's time to change for us. Don't sit around the rest of the summit moping about what didn't happen coming in. Get ready to set goals of where you're going. And some of you next year, and I'm going to tell Robert, Melissa, and Blake, and Angie, some of the people in this room right next year will blow some of you out that are big pins. They will be some of your biggest people in this organization are sitting in this audience. Am I right? Right now. I just thank you guys for letting me share. You know, just being asked to share is totally humbling to me. I've built some relationships in this group. Francis is the brother to me, and Michael, and some of you, Keith, some of you guys. I mean, my life's blessed. Robert, being around you guys, and it's just, you know, it's life-changing for me. Celebrate, you guys. Go out there and celebrate your life. Celebrate Summit. Not from where you've been, where you're going. Your future lies ahead of you. Live in joy. Forget seeking happiness. Just live in joy. Because no matter what's going on, you're going to have the courage to finish and to get through it. God bless you guys. Let's do it.